Paul. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
And I'm fine. I'm doing fine. And thank you so much, obviously, for your time. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
First of all, I would like to know, what are your thoughts on the evolution of the NXT takeovers from the first one in Brooklyn to the one we have in New Orleans this year? And is this something that was planned to happen like this?
Well, technically, the first one was down here in Florida at Full Sail with NXT Arrival. You know, NXT was the first live broadcast on the WWE Network, something I'm pretty proud of. But the evolution of it has been massive, you know, and to go from what it was at Full Sail to going into Brooklyn at the Barclays Center and selling out and doing incredible numbers on the network for viewership. It's been very exciting. And, you know, in some way, obviously, I hoped it would become something like this. You aim towards that and try to make it that. But, you know, I think it's exceeded that expectation. I think it's exceeded everybody's expectation. And certainly the speed at which it happened. I was confident that it would gain the traction that it did, but I didn't know that it would happen quite so quickly. I think it speaks to the passion of WWE fans in general for what we do and their desire to see more. NXT as a brand gives them a different feel and a different vibe than Raw does, than SmackDown does, and it also gives them sort of that look into the future of that next wave of talent that are going to be on Raw and SmackDown and WrestleMania, and at the level of the NXT athlete, you know, the performance is at that same level. It's amazing, but the passion at which it's done, the desire, the hunger, and the talent, it's almost palpable that you can feel how hungry they are to get recognized and to get to that next level, all of them.
And we'll go to our next question with Andre Sermon with Rump Music.
Hello, Paul. First, I have to tell you that I'm really, really honored to talk to you today.
Thank you.
So, you seem to have a really, really busy life. Maybe you can give us some inside look into your week schedule. You seem to be at every Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-view events, and also in the headquarters in Stamford. Then you post midnight workouts in New York City, I think. And do you have any free time? And how busy can we imagine your week schedule?
Yeah, I have free time today, and I'm spending it talking on the phone with you.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a busy lifestyle, but you know, it's funny because I don't necessarily look at it that way. Yes, it's busy. Yes, it's a lot of work. Yes, it's demanding. But when you're doing what you love to do, when you're kind of in an environment that you love to be in, and you're working towards something that you're really passionate about, it certainly makes it a lot easier, and it doesn't really seem like work. You know, there was a funny moment. I put it out in a tweet a couple of weeks ago where I flew in the course of a few days from Sunday to like Wednesday night, I flew 21,000 miles, and the circumference of the Earth is 25,000 miles. It was a busy week. Spent a lot of time on a plane working, but it's just what we do, you know. It's an exciting time, and that yes, it's busy, but busy in a good way, and it's a good problem to have, you know.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Patrick Lennon with Daily Star.
Hello, good morning, sir. I hope you're well. I wanted to ask you, please, about the United Kingdom Championship and its current status on NXT. I note that the wonderful Pete Dunne is going to be competing in the triple threat for the tag team match. The question is where do you see the United Kingdom Championship now 15 months on from it being established? And can we expect something maybe a little bit more UK-based to come to fruition in the next year or so?
So, look, as we said when we did it, the UK was chock full of amazing talent. We did the tournament, had plans to progress from there, and they've taken a bit longer for a lot of reasons outside of our control. I don't want to say our control, of our desire to do it. It's a complex thing. It's a complex world with a lot of television deals and everything else that complicate those kind of things. And I think we thought we could get there a little bit quicker. I would have liked to have gotten there a little bit quicker, but we will get there. The UK talent have done an amazing job. We've incorporated them through NXT and through other things. We'll be having some announcements on a lot of that shortly. And I'm excited where we're at with it now. It like I said, it took a little longer to get there than I had hoped for, but we're getting there now. And the goal is still the same. The goal is still to have that on the ground sort of European-based promotion there happening, and we're still working on it.
Thank you. We'll go next to Matty Paddock with The Independent.
Good afternoon to you, Paul. Thanks for your time as always. It's a question
Matty,
you get asked.
how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Yeah, very good indeed. It's a question you get asked most years, really, from these shows with WrestleMania coming up. I know you've had some fun and some back and forth with fans about the idea of WrestleMania being in the UK at some stage. So just sort of two-pronged, really. Do you find sort of long-term that it's a possibility the company is receptive to, and I guess also the logistics and any potential complications associated with making it happen, I guess?
Yeah, any pay-per-view or promotional, event of that caliber, they're all difficult to put on, and they're all challenging. When you talk about WrestleMania and a week-long series of events that is difficult to coordinate in the U.S., it becomes, that difficulty level becomes multiplied exponentially, having it internationally. That being said, we're definitely looking into possibilities of a lot of things. And I think that, one thing we've shown, I think over the years, never say never. I know that fans are hungry for it. I know that fans are excited for it if it does happen, and it's something that we think about and are trying to figure out logistically how things would work, whether that's a regular, one of our standard pay-per-views, whether that's one of the big four, or whether that's a WrestleMania, or whether that's something totally new. I think we're open to all of it, and like we always say, you never say never in the WWE. So we're open to all options, and without sounding cliched and throwing out catchphrases, if it's best for business, then we would certainly be open to doing it.
Thank you. We'll go next to Ricardo Vacur with Medio Tempo.
Hi, good morning, Triple H.
Ricardo.
Such a pleasure talking to you. How are you?
How are you, sir? I'm great. Yourself?
Doing great, thanks. Doing great. I was wondering, WrestleMania season is upon us. It's about 2 weeks. And in your legend status, you've had many, many amazing WrestleMania matches. But if you had to pick just one of all your matches at WrestleMania, which one would it be? And if you could share with us maybe any anecdote or anything about that match you choose.
Sure. I think for me, the WrestleMania match that had the most meaning for me, or the most, kind of special place for me, would be the WrestleMania match against Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. they dubbed it the end of an era match, and it really came down to, I think, two guys competing in the ring. One guy's a referee, being Shawn Michaels, but three guys being inside that cell with the utmost respect for each other, and a long-standing, long careers with each other, been through Monday Night Wars and all of it together. And it was a really special match, really special night. I think we went out there and accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, but then afterwards there was just a moment with the three of us standing on that stage looking out over that stadium that is etched in my mind that I'll never forget. And it's myself, The Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels all standing there, kind of taking a final bow. It was for us, not just from the entertainment side, a special moment, but for us personally, professionally, on every level, it was a special moment.
Thank you. We'll go next to Neil Docking with the Daily Mirror.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
Hi, good to speak to you. Very well, thank you. At WrestleMania, you'll be teaming up with your wife, Stephanie, face Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. How much are you looking forward to wrestling someone of the caliber of Angle again, especially when the last time you kind of worked a significant feud was all the way back in the summer of 2000?
Yeah, it's an exciting match for me on a lot of levels. This would be the first time I step into the ring with Steph. This is actually Steph's first match at WrestleMania. And to step into the ring with her, at this point in time in my career, all these Mania moments and the matches are kind of bonus moments to your career at this point, and they're exciting for a different level than they were 10 years ago. The opportunity to step into the ring at WrestleMania with Steph is very exciting. She's very excited about that opportunity. But then to go back in time, so to speak, with Kurt and I, it's awesome to see Kurt come back home after all this time and be back in the WWE, and he's done a great job as the GM role within the show, and but to see him have that opportunity to step back on stage at WrestleMania after all this time and have that moment again, to be able to share that with him, and then to step into the ring with probably one of the biggest signings from an outside notoriety standpoint, if you want to look at it that way, and certainly one of the most amazing signings for us athletically is the signing of Ronda Rousey, and for her to come into the WWE, not just as an attraction, not just as somebody coming in and looking for a moment or a shine on a different platform, but to really, she really feels like she's home, and that WWE is going to be bigger than anything she's done in her career, and she's really excited about being here and all in and wanting this. To be there as a part of the launch of that, and that's really what this is it's just the opportunity to get her going and to kind of launch what she's going to bring to the table. It's really exciting, and this will be a special one for a lot of reasons for me. And it's funny because it kind of encapsulates a lot of things for me. My relationship with Steph, my history with Kurt, but also a long journey of conversation and everything else with Ronda about being here and being a part of this, and taking her career to another level, taking WWE to another level by in some way partnering with Ronda and Ronda partnering with us, because that's how I look at this. It's a partnership. It is with all talent, and I'm very excited about it. And I can tell you this: I think Ronda's going to surprise a lot of people. I think that they know how athletic she is, but WWE is a different world, and I think she's going to impress a lot of people.
Thank you. We'll go next to Kevin Shern with mysportradio.de.
Hello, Paul. How are you doing?
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing good, actually. NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania is always the end of a season in WWE. There are no off seasons, but the new season is beginning. Out with the old, in with the new, maybe on some parts, also in NXT. And being from Germany, I have to ask about the prospect called Marcel Barthel in NXT. I'm a huge fan of his when he was here in Germany on the independent circuit. How satisfied are you with his development in the NXT universe?
Very. Marcel is an amazing talent that, that kind of has the unlimited future here in WWE. He's amazingly talented. He did extremely well over in Germany and throughout the world as he competed, and now making his way here to the WWE. The great thing is he's a sponge. He's learning quickly. He's progressing quickly, and I think it won't be very, very long at all before he starts to make an impact here in NXT and beyond. He's an exceptional talent. As you talk about Germany as well, I'll bring up Alexander Wolf. Alexander Wolf is a talent that came along and came into the Performance Center and the NXT world and has just, with sanity, really become a force and has put himself on the map. At War Games, people chanting his name, and he's really made an impression for himself. I'm excited about his future as well.
Thank you. We'll go next to Miguel Uceda with Sport.es.
Hello, Paul. It's a pleasure to see you. How are you?
I'm great. Yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. WWE will celebrate one of the most important shows of the year in Saudi Arabia. That show is going to feature a 50-man Royal Rumble match, being the greatest Royal Rumble match in the history. My question is, what kind of reward will the winner of that match will receive?
So that is something that is being determined now as the event draws closer, and I think that as in the upcoming weeks you will see some announcements on that. That is going to be an exciting event. Working in Saudi Arabia is very exciting for our talent and our fans. We have a lot of fans there, a lot of fans in the region that are very, very excited. They always are when we go there about seeing WWE and about the product coming into the region in the Middle East. But something like this, a large-scale event like this, a stadium show with, the greatest Royal Rumble in history, 50 competitors in it. It's going to be an awesome spectacle, and the rest of the card, as we make announcements, this will be a special event. It will be exciting for the fans there beyond their imagination, and really looking forward to putting it on. But things are being kind of worked out now as we speak. It's a short window of time in which to put all of it together. And given the fact that it's also WrestleMania season, it's in a busy window for us. But exciting. We're really looking forward to coming there, and I can tell you that all of our athletes cannot wait to get there.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
And we'll go next to Yash Badi with CNN News 18.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for talking to us. Thank you for taking out the time. How are you?
Thank you. Great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for talking to us. So Paul, there has been a lot of speculations on Brock's contract situation, and Dana White's tweet even stirred the pot. WWE was quick to play this factor into a storyline with Roman Reigns. So Paul, can you clarify anything around Brock Lesnar's contract situation?
To be honest, I really don't have anything to share. There's conversations, and we'll see where it goes. Brock is Brock. He's an interesting guy to deal with. Makes it challenging, which is always wonderful, and we're working on it. We'll see where that goes as time goes on.
Thank you. We'll go next to Sylvain Vernilek with CAQ.
Thank you. Hi, Paul. Greetings from France.
Hello, Sylvain. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Talking about UFC and MMA fighters, it has always been said that relationships between Dana White and Vince McMahon are very respectful. And, UFC and MMA fighters always have had a special place in the WWF, WWE roster. So those two overlap more and more. So what is the business relationship between WWE and the UFC today?
Well, I think it's respectful. We both respect each other's businesses and what we do, but in some ways, while there is similarities between the athletes that might want to be a part of both organizations or do things in both organizations, it's a little bit of where the kind of comparison stops. WWE is an entertainment company. We've always been an entertainment company, sports entertainment. We're a global, media juggernaut that produces content all over the world. And the key for us is charisma, personality. Those are the things that resonate with us and that drive us. The athletes themselves obviously are a huge part of it, the athletic side of it, but without that charisma, without that personality, without that next level of character, it's tough for them to become anything more. So, there's comparisons and there's opportunity, and I think there's opportunity to do both. I think you've seen Brock Lesnar do both very successfully. I think you'll see others do things very successfully. I don't know that you have to do just one or the other, but look, when UFC has a talent under contract and they're fighting for them, that's what it is. And when we have a talent under contract and they're fighting for us, that's what it is. If we make agreements beyond that, it's wonderful. But we have a good working relationship as far as if we need something, we can call them. If they need something, they call us. I chat with Dane on a regular basis, and it's all good.
Thank you. We'll go next to Nims Azur with Zen Radio.
G'day from Australia, Paul.
Hello.
How are you going?
I'm doing great, man. How are you guys doing?
Thank you. We're doing absolutely fantastic. Now, in local press here and on sports radio in Australia, the rumour mill has been going off the charts. This has been actually in print and on radio that the WWE will be bringing a stadium show to Australia, well, Melbourne specifically. This was the rumours were sort of fueled a bit when the greatest Royal Rumble was announced in Saudi Arabia. What's the truth behind this rumoured event that's coming to Australia, or is it just a case of wait and see?
It is a case of we're working on it. We will see where we get to. Hopefully, hopefully things will work out for everybody. But we're kind of waiting to see. We don't have anything to announce at this time. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I hate saying this all the time, but you never say never in WWE. These kind of big strategic events, whether Saudi or any place else, it's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it logistically moving talent and everything else around is a lot. So it's a work in progress, and we shall see, and hopefully we can make announcements soon, one way or the other.
Thank you. We'll go next to Andre Sherman with Rod Music.
Hello again. We just talked earlier about your passion for the WWE and the business. So Vince McMahon gave all his life to the WWE. Let's talk about maybe 10 or 20 years from now. Do you think that Stephanie and you will do this forever, like Vince?
I think for Vince, it's his passion, it's his life. I don't think he can. Yeah, it's just what he does. It's who he is as a human being and as a person. For Steph, this has been her family business and her life, and a passion as well. And same thing for me. I long career, and now am deeply into this. And Vince will do this, my opinion, until he can no longer do it anymore. I'm sure he has said that publicly. He will do it until he can't. And I think we feel the same way. We have a strong passion for this, and for us to take his vision is very important for us. To take his vision, to take what he has done unbelievably well, to take that vision and that creation and take it beyond where it is and beyond where it will be, to bring this, the brand, the company, the business of all of it, like he did, to have a vision beyond what it is today to what it can be and where it can go. And I think that the WWE, as a form of entertainment, as a company, as a media juggernaut, as a content creator, all of that is really just scratching the surface of where we can be in the future. And I look forward to that future. And hopefully that when Vince is no longer here, Steph and I can do that justice and take it into the future where it needs to be, and hopefully future generations beyond that will take it beyond where we could imagine it being.
Thank you. We'll go next to Konstantinos Lianos, Daily Express.
Hi, Paul. Nice to meet you, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks. So The Undertaker seemed to have retired last year, but now looks set for a big WrestleMania match with John Cena. What does the future hold for The Undertaker, and will he compete in more WrestleManias?
Well, I don't know. I think you'd have to ask him that. I think, you've seen John Cena calling him out. You've seen that play out on television. Where that goes, I'm not sure. Where that goes beyond April, 8th, I don't know. I think that's kind of a one day at a time thing, and time will tell, and we'll see. It really comes down to being up to the Undertaker, what he wants to do anywhere, anytime, and he's earned that right, certainly. With everything that he's accomplished and everything he's done, he has earned the right to pick his shots, pick his opportunity, and really dictate what he wants to do.
Thank you. We'll go next to Christian Burns with Power Wrestling Magazine.
Hey, sir. How are you today? Sorry, in perfect time of event, some person in the complex just put his drilling machine out. But anyway, I hope you can hear me. And Daniel Bryan is obviously the big news this week, which probably will impact this year's WrestleMania as well. Can you give us some background information on how his clearance came about in the last couple of days, and will he be monitored more often than quote-unquote regular talent in the future? Plus, what's your personal take on his return and his emotional speech on Tuesday? And sorry again.
So the clearing of Daniel Bryan was a long time in process. it's been in the last few days that it's been out and been announced, but that is something that Daniel, without WWE, had been working on for a long period of time, kind of on his own and going about his desire to return. We knew of it. We knew what he was doing. At the end of the day, we take the advice of the best medical people out there. When those medical people came to us and said Daniel Bryan should no longer compete, it is their opinion that he should no longer compete, that is what we went with. And, in some ways broke our heart to have to tell Daniel that, and broke his heart. And like he said, it was his dream, and he would not quit on his dream, and he fought for it. And whether or not that fight would have been in vain, none of us knew. But over time, he began to show us results that were totally different to the medical professionals, and it got to a point where he could return to action, and the medical professionals, and even beyond, additional medical professionals that had said he should no longer compete, were now saying it would be okay for him to compete. So that is what we go with, and he is cleared to return to the ring. We will absolutely keep an eye on him. As I said the other day, it is our first and foremost responsibility is to the health and well-being of our talent when they're on the roster with us. So we want them to be as healthy as possible, and for all of them. It's different than any other sport. There's no backup any of them, even if you just want to look at it from a business standpoint. But long beyond the business, there's a human being aspect of it. So that is extremely important to us, and we will always try to do what is best for their health, their well-being long term. And this situation is no different. Personally, I'm ecstatic for Daniel, knowing him as a human being, all of it, to see him have this opportunity again, to see the passion at which he does this, and to know what this means to him, it's incredible.
We'll go next to Thibaut Popular with Catch News.
Hello, Triple H. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. It's an honor to have you today. So earlier this week, we spoke with AJ Styles about the fact that he could be injured. He told us that he will be able to compete at WrestleMania against Shinsuke Nakamura. Are you concerned about that? And do you always have a plan B if an injury happens at the last moment before Mania?
You always have to have a plan B, and just in case, you have a plan C. So we try to have in mind what would happen. AJ is an incredible performer, and saying we would replace AJ Styles would be very difficult. Not necessarily a replaceable talent, but we would do our best. But we're getting AJ is working diligently on rehabbing his injuries and getting himself in tip-top shape for WrestleMania. We are trying to help him with that process of getting him the best care and the best rehab and everything else possible. And we're hoping for the best. Right now he says he's feeling a lot better, and we'll be ready to go. And obviously, we'll get him doctors to make sure that he's ready to go and get a medical clearance if that's possible. But he's working very hard at it, so we're hoping for the best.
Thank you. We'll go next to Neil Docking with Daily Mirror.
Hi again, Paul. Good to talk to you again. I just wanted to ask you about NXT TakeOver New Orleans. WWE UK champion Pete Dunne is going to be teaming Roderick Strong in a triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team Championship. How would you evaluate his time, as part of WWE? And how do you think him competing in the NXT Tag Team division kind of fits into his career path with the company?
Well, I think, first of all, Pete is an amazing performer, and much like a lot of guys in the UK, but I think he's a standout. Very young, very hungry, and just a sponge. So, and I think as good as he was then, he's become even much more of a polished and much more well-rounded performer now. And I think as time goes on and he's more and more in our system, he will continue to be. I think this is a great opportunity for him. Anytime you get an opportunity to be on something at the level of a WrestleMania week, the takeover in New Orleans will be seen by the world over, media all over the world. It just, again, solidifies his name as being a top player in the sports entertainment world into the future. And at his age, that future is long and bright. So I love this opportunity for him. It's an opportunity for him to again, in another way, totally put himself on the map in a different environment and really shine. Beyond that, I think in the next, year, you're going to see amazing opportunities put in front of Pete Dunne that I think he will grab hold of and knock out of the park.
Hannah, we'll probably have time for one more question, please.
Thank you. We'll go next to Kevin Churn with mysportsradio.de.
Fittingly, the last question, Paul, is what is the match or who is the performer you are mostly looking forward to on NXT TakeOver New Orleans this year?
Wow. That's a tough question. Look, I always feel like there's a ton of, talent in NXT and in takeovers in general where it's hard to really say what is the one thing that you're really looking forward to, because I really honestly can look at that card across the board, and it's tough for me to say what I'm looking forward to most. The Andre Cien Almas Aleister Black match, it's one I can't wait for. But then I look at Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler, and they bring something totally different to the table. Shayna brings a totally different style, especially in the women's division, than we've really ever kind of seen before. That's an exciting match to me, and I think that the first time we saw them, they really just kind of nicked the surface of what the two of them can do, and it's a really cool story. You talk about the triple threat for the tag team championships and for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Again, three just amazing teams. Unfortunate, the injury to Bobby Fish, but how will that play out? It's really exciting to me. And when I look at the people that are in that match, I go, man, that is going to be off the charts good. And over the past few takeovers, the tag division has kind of really, in some ways, almost stolen the night in a lot of those opportunities. You go beyond that and you start looking at that North American Championship match, a ladder match with that level of talent in it. Killian Dane, Lars, EC3 coming in first time. How is he going to fare in this environment? Totally different style. How is he going to fare in this environment? Ricochet coming in, a talent that I've had my eye on for years. One of the most outstanding athletes in the world, coming in here and just lighting the world on fire, I think is where he's headed. Adam Cole. It's just that match is just so chock full of talent and amazing athletes that, man, I can't wait to watch it. And then, to me, the story emotionally that just captivates everybody from Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano, unsanctioned, just what does that bring to the table, and knowing those two performers and what they've done, Johnny Gargano is just this unbelievably sympathetic babyface that can just draw fans in. That is going to be emotionally up the chart. So the whole night, to me, for me to pick one thing, I don't think that I can. I think it's just going to be awesome.